The bottom side, like you mentioned, Clid dies a third time. He is so far behind the Karthus, and actually blowing something like a Wild Growth in mid, that new effect is very cute, is a pretty big thing, because now even Faker has to be sure about his next movements, not like Jace in the mid lane, lacks in damage.
Well, he will find another Glitter Lance here onto Showmaker, who's getting abused a little bit. Of course, Lulu is still just as annoying as she used to be. You guys can cast your minds back to the Lulu mid-metas of old. Certainly was a lot of throwing Glitter Lances and watching people slowly die.
There's one way you should be bugging LS to review the Karthus pathing in this game, because Karthus has been really on point and now has the CS lead plus just map pressure lead that we don't often see. This is camping, a red buff spawn. They basically know every camp respawn timer from Clid based on the ones they've killed and the expected pathing to get to spots. This is a very easy know when to contest spot. Clid chooses to walk up, and it's not just Karthus, they're Karthus plus friends, so unfortunately the information's not filtering correctly, and Xin Zhao is going to really need the utility and also that ultimate invulnerability, because the Warrior enchant even is going to be super delayed.
And he's also going to need a lane to gank as well, as Noguri just playing around Khan here.
I don't know about ganking anymore.
Well, he needs a way back into this game, right? As Canyon's going to try his luck on the top side. Canyon puts his back against the wall, so the Grand Challenge is not going to be issued. And Noguri does throw his ultimate on cooldown. Not exactly the most necessary ultimate if you're trying to play defensively, so he's going to still be able to play up. Here in this lane, Beryl, Canyon making their way towards mid lane as Faker looks to have a target on his back as well. But look at this. He can't move past the river because Damwon owned it.
And Damwon's map control allows multiple people to rotate through mid lane and help Jace through back timings and other little things that Teleport Lulu can definitely abuse a lot of matchups. So just having a Tahm Kench roll in will cause Lulu to back off. It'll get the minion wave either equalized or pushed, depending on what Jace is looking for. That additional help is big. Should be mentioned that we haven't talked about bot side through all of this. No deaths have come in there. The quest transformation is a bit slower than you'll like, but around 10 minutes, it has to be close, and actually not that close, 372. Yeah. The fastest we've seen so far was 7 minutes for Viper to get that transformation, so right now at least, while Pyke can be able to pile on some CS, we don't see Sona actually getting towards her first completed item as early as you would want. It's feeling more like a 12, 13-minute transformation.
Yeah, and a lot of these civil lanes that the Sonas have gone into have had later quest completions. I feel like the Spell Shield does do a lot of work there as Faker and Clid are looking for Canyon. Does take a lot of damage there from that first Glitter Lance. Faker has a lost chapter already built up. Showmaker very close to getting his Ghost Blade.
A lot of talk about calculating where CS is at in these lanes. You would assume a lot of this is shared, so probably going to be about 50 selfish CS for Pyke, and the rest shared between Sona and Pyke as the number goes on both sides. Speaking of both sides, Canyon can go on both sides of the Rift. I think
it feels like he is on both sides.
Which camp do we even say is Clid's for sure? Maybe Krug's the one you would say is for sure his. Everything else has been invaded and contested. Double Executioner calling game, one for the Sivir to try to slow down the healing from the Sona, the other one for the Aatrox, but no Aatrox CS lead this time out.
Nope. However, he's not too far behind. We know that this can be a rough matchup for the Aatrox, as the minion wave is going to come in, and Khan's going to be able to pick up another 6. Not horrendously bad, and honestly, I mean, this is the matchup that I highlighted at the beginning of this series, and Khan has actually done a decent job in both games keeping up.
And we zoned out a little bit. We saw Sona, we filled in everything. Notice it's not Klepto on this Sona, so the fact that the quest was so slow and there's no Klepto actually means that Sona's build is going to be slow. So that means a lot of flow-on effects there. Even just Seraph's completion time can be so important. Otherwise, Sona can be assassinated with no Taric ult to keep her alive. So this should actually slow down between that and Xin Zhao. A lot of SKT's effectiveness in the team fight. However, Sona abuses Aerie more than almost any champ. So if they get to that late game, it's even stronger than what we were outlining.
Well, Canyon's boosting it here towards the bottom side of the map. He has his Sork boots already. Song of Celerity shouldn't be enough as the crescendo comes out so defensively. It's a good bone skewer though as Mata looks for Beryl. Baker comes on in. Wild Growth gets a knock up onto the Tahm Kench, but otherwise it's nothing. Powered Shock Blast is huge as four members, on the bottom side of the map are there. Showmaker devoured as Nuclear is getting a lot of damage in. And the Rift Herald's going to come down to join the party.
Canyon had 2 buttons he could press, saw that Sona was going to heal out of ult range and goes with the Rift Herald. Good choice here. They're actually getting a TP straight back from the Sona.
Yep, she's going to come in. Spell Shield's there from Nuclear. Now Mata underneath the turret, but this one's going down extremely low. Shelly gets her eye poked, but she's already taken the plates off the shelf. And Damwon are going to transition into their second Drake of the game. Another one with Accelerated Dragons. It's going to be the Ocean as now Faker's caught in transition. Has Flash, so he's not going to die. And also gets a lot of damage there onto Canyon as well. He's not going to get bullied this game.
I mean, the posturing is so aggressive from Damwon Gaming, as it should be with how far behind enemy jungler is only now Warrior Enchant complete. Damwon Gaming, they did not draft to punish, but they took the Executioner's calling early. The Sona only now gets questions about 12.5 minutes and can catch the exact transformation. Like we mentioned with no Klepto, we're not cheating the gold curve either. Yes, more and more people are going the way of Aerie because Sona multi-procs it in team fights, and if you go something like Ardent Sensor or Themes, you get a lot of value. However, it does mean that team fight, just blitzing, is going to be a little bit later from the side of SKT.
And also, Damwon don't want to really be team fighting in the later stages anyway. They're looking to try and split push with Noggery, either 4-1 or utilize potentially Showmaker, who doesn't actually have teleport, so likely just to be more of a 4-1 focus here for Damwon. And we mentioned that we wanted Damwon to go back to a style that they're good at. The Damwon style is how they win games, as Khan taking another poor trade here against Noggery. But this does feel like a Damwon comp. Noggery taking turret shots also. Feels like Noggery as they're going for the 1v1. Grand Challenge comes down. Khan landing a lot of these spells though. Riposte was on cooldown. He gets underneath his turret. It's ultimate for ultimate on the top side.
Noggery will never back down from those fights. Flash up or down. He plays super aggressively. Now, multiple types of gold generation coming. And I just want to see SKT's team fights in action. I'm kind of greedy because they do have a really cool comp along the lines of Kingzone versus Afrika game #1. Even from behind, if they outplay and that first Pike ult comes in, Aatrox gets his Bloodwell active, good things can still happen. It's been so controlled though, and Damwon Gaming in a Sivir lane is trying to power down this first turret.
Yeah, the first pick in a team fight is going to be so incredibly important as teleport's coming in. Yeah, cleared. Dives onto Showmaker. Canyon has the Defile as Khan turns up. Good knock up there onto Canyon, but he has to get out of there. 5 members of Damwon already collapsing as Noggery dives onto Khan. Probably not going to want to go any further. The rest of his team was not doing so as Riposte is dodged on the SKT side. Another summon Aerie coming down there from Faker, who's very good at adding on extra pressure with this Lulu. Nothing really comes of it.
That's a good moment of the game for SKT. You love seeing the Fiora follow the teleport because it means no TP Fiora advantage bot side. Mata and Teddy weren't there, so SKT weren't realistically going to fully collapse onto a team fight. So yes, you draw out a TP. Do you still get ganked anyway because Canyon's here?
Yeah, we got an Abyssal Voyage coming down as well as Canyon has to flash to get out of the way. Beryl with the grey health is there, but Mata was threatening with that death from below. In the meantime, Nuclear is just going to take a turret on the bottom side of the map. Damwon playing the map so intelligently because Noggery's on the top side doing the same thing.
Noggery can do Noggery things, and Nuclear can take a turret bot lane. Then you are out-rotating, and SKT can't force the team by force the grouping before Damwon Gaming opt into it. Wave pushed in further. We back away here. Things definitely looking way better for Damwon than we might have expected given the draft and how comfortable a lane it looked like. The Sona in the bot lane. What is SKT's next move? Because anything more than just trying to get a strong side of the map, maybe finding Showmaker.
Yeah, Wild Growth does come in. Showmaker goes down to half health. The Ignite is still ticking, but not going to do too much. This all-in attempt. Wild Growth invested, but not the hugest cooldown, especially not as this game goes on. But not a lot of cooldown reduction in the build yet for Faker.
SKT
wait a bit of time.
Need to find a strong side of the map, and we're not even talking about enemy side, their own side. Control somewhere. Control grows from early kernels. Some sort of kernel of truth, some sort of kernel of strength is what they need, because otherwise they're being outmatched in the side lanes as Damwon Gaming drafted. So for now so little control that Canyon can just roll in and threaten every time.
Yeah, Teddy gets 2 men with his crescendo, but it's not enough. Nuclear, he's able to lock down that kill. I believe it was spell shielded as Mata not hit by the boomerang, but they've got what they came here for. They can reliably do that. If they can just kill the Sona over and over again, this SKT comp doesn't have a lot. As Nogari takes everything. Loses the trade, I guess, as far as health. But he takes the Grump, and he's still pushing.
Can't sidestep lay waste. No boots on the Sona build means takes the first 2 and dies so quickly. Mid lane outer turret goes down. Damwon Gaming 3 turrets to 0. A lot of the analysis on these Sona comps is reminiscent of all the funnel comps we had last year, where we talked about, can you get 3 turrets down pre-20 and stop this 80 carry with so much money dominating? The answer so far is yes. And speaking of dominating,
yeah, Faker's just going to get smashed. While growth was there, he bought some time maybe, but To the Skies is going to put him straight into the death chamber. He was just a little bit too far up. 0-5 now is the advantage for Damwon, and SKT is staring down the barrel of a perfect game at 18 minutes.
They are getting just dominated on a comp that needs time, that needs tender loving care. The tender loving care was thrown out so early when Clid, the architect of a lot of their early games at MSI, was put behind like he has too often for SKT fans. In the summer season, Teddy comes in, he doesn't have boots, dies very fast. Probably skipped out in the boots because he just needed to get that Sarah shield as fast as possible. So he's not going to have it for a while. The greediness of going down the Airy just doesn't work when your jungler falls so far behind. Mata can't contest wards, nothing's coming together. It just feels like Damwon Gaming get an objective. SKT should just say thank you very much, we'll come back later.
Yeah, exactly. Or we'll try our very best to get something elsewhere on this map, because right now they've managed to get absolutely nothing. No Rift Heralds, no Dragons, no towers. Faker can barely even get towards this minion wave.
The best thing you can say is that Damwon Gaming don't have a lot of ways to end the game at that 22-minute mark that we see in the LPL, that we see from some of the best teams around the world. They don't have a lot of force. They have a Sivir ult and then no other CC, right? When Wall of Pain is among your best engaged tools, you know that you've got some issues there. Now, they can still keep splitting, but actually ending the game is tricky, and that might baby SKT to at least some core items. They'll be behind, but they might be able to finish their items before the game just ends because of the huge gold lead from Damwon.
Yeah, they might be able to prevent the Nexus from going down in the next 10 minutes' time. But you can see already the split push is on here for Damwon. Bottom side of the map, you got Nogari pushing in. 7,000 gold is the lead as we tick over to 20 minutes. That Baron is going to be up on the map, and do SKT stand a hope to get any sort of vision outside of blue trinkets in that pit? I have a feeling the answer is very close.
It has to be Lulu Zen or Lulu Aatrox willing to use ults to make it happen, to get some of the vision as far up as they want. If there was 2 Mountain Drakes, there's a chance that a Duo Baron could have happened on the side of Damwon. Right now, the Duo Baron's a lot harder because the sides are so squishy, but Canyon just has the most ability power. He's got an old death cap, a new death cap, all sorts of death caps on the way with his ability power stacking.
Building all of the different death caps. As Armada was thinking about lining up a Bone Skewer, but there's no vision available here. 3 members of Damwon is way more than the little Pike can handle.
No flat pen in the build, and would have been very useful against no magic resist, as Khan's just going to run away.
Yep, World Ender is going to be used very defensively.
Not yet.
Yeah, Nogari not happy to jump underneath that turret just yet.
Trinity Force not done on that one.
Yeah, not it.
Going flat AP is still good when the enemy isn't stacking magic resist, but it helps you push. That's the way it's different, right? Magic pen against minions, not as strong. Monsters as well. Also means more Baron damage in a high AP build. So while the double pen is not there to do true damage, it's just a lot of damage. So the AP is still relevant.
2.2k gold lead here for Canyon in the jungle also. Just keeping up with that one. Clid was just the most shut down in the jungle. 0-3-0, and you look at these score lines, and if you haven't been watching the whole game, then it's you just say, oh, well, Clid's just been hard beating this game. Honestly, he was just hard read throughout the entirety of the early game by Canyon.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Yeah, I mean, it was doing a bit of eating, but it wasn't like he was griefing this whole game or anything like that.
The reason why Clid's performance in this game is very atypical to normal Korean junglers is, what does a Korean jungler do when he falls behind or dies early? He just goes super defensive, slowly kills camps safely, never ganks. Clid did what we see in the LPL a lot, what we see from aggressive junglers. He tried to say, well, I'm behind. My only way to catch up is to get a gank, then be strong enough to farm my camps with impunity. The problem with that is, if that fails, then you fall desperately far behind, perhaps never going to be competitive. So we see the Clid playstyle come through, and unfortunately, this time it really is the wrong side of what can happen there. And now there's a death cap on the Karthus. He's got the most ability power you could ever ask for.
He's got his hat and a cane, Papa Smithy, and he's just looking pretty damn fine on some of the drift.
Trinity Force is probably done here, right? So
it is. Still can't really tank turrets just yet.
Hold down
at the moment. Okay, double crescendo is going to land. Marta, death from below, but Beryl goes golden. Can he buy enough time? The grey health is going to be there, but the catfish is going to go down. No perfect game for Darmon, but can they follow up? This team fight empowered shock blast blocked by Clid, who had a lot of shielding, and we can see what SKT's comp is supposed to do.
However, we can see how much gold Damwon have if SKT walk up when some of those ults are down. No reset for Marta. Ult is down as Nuguri, once again fighting.
Yeah, Infernal Chain did have the stun lined up there from the Infernal Chains, but not going to tag Khan with it. Gets out. So, 1 kill going over to SKT. A positive trade for our spring champions, but they're not out of the woods just yet.
Still, the punishment feels like a very lax silver lining. Marta is, of course, going to be squishy.
Yep, straight caught out of position there as Infernal Drake just goes for free over to Damwon like it should, as Khan now finds himself in amongst all of Damwon. Okay, that's our first Requiem. That did a big old chunk to a whole bunch of members of SKT, but thankfully for SKT fans, it's not going to kill.
Only ends up being a Requiem for a Dream because Sivir couldn't get more damage in to actually finish off members. But, hold on cooldown, a little bit of pressure relieved. SKT have to be so careful about where they choose to use their team comp, because even if they have some inherent strength, as was suggested earlier, the outnumber there was the important reason they could actually get a kill to stick.
Now Khan going to move once again outside of his inner turret range, which is exactly what he doesn't want to do. Infernal Chains are going to be lined up. It is one reason why Fiora is so good, just because you can predict exactly, or you can calculate exactly when that pullback's going to come in, meaning that you'll always get full CC on your riposte.
KT continue to hang back. See how little of their map they control. Ward line very aggressive down one side. Let's see if the blue buff was stolen there or not, but there was a blue buff active on the Karthus. Nuguri gets that turret, continues to push. SKT want to find the TP out. That is the lifeline for Aatrox in a comp like this. Team fights. Maybe just a skirmish, but Nuguri gets away.
Yeah, Wind Becomes Lightning did connect there just the tip, but not going to get too much, as Marta is going to have to Ghost Water dive his way out of this one. Nuclear able to clear out wards. Beryl doesn't get this one here that's in the brush. It does eventually sweep that one out.
Vision-wise, 4 ward on Lulu, 2 on Sona, blue trinket up. So for now, the Baron baits aren't going to be deadly, but those are the calculations, and Damwon Gaming know Baron should be there sooner rather than later. We did reach that 25-minute mark with the game not over. 9,000 gold lead is severe.
We're 10 minutes past the 15:57, or we will be in 17 seconds, so we're still feeling good. However, they're going to have to stall this one out for a whole lot longer, and the gold lead is only extending for Damwon at the same time. Plus, with the Infernal Drake that they picked up, they've got so much scaling on this Karthus, who already had the death cap. His AP number is through the roof right now, especially for 26 minutes into the game.
And Sivir has 3 items too, so 3 and a bit. So it's not like Sivir is a slouch, so I'm with you on that one. I feel like the line for this point is about 5,000 gold lead for Damwon. SKT will be competitive in teamfights, much more than 5,000. So for now at least, you really fancy the spot Damwon is in, even in a team fight. But that line, you know, it doesn't grow over time, right? Over time, when there's more gold injected and core items are completed, SKT's comp in the 5v5 will be very, very powerful. So for now, at least, SKT, they haven't stemmed the bleeding enough, but in 10 minutes, if it's the same gold difference, there might be an argument that there's a way back in.
Yeah, SKT just looking for that 45-minute potential win condition.
I'm willing to give them 35.
All right, 35. That could be doable, as that's only 10 minutes time from now. A couple of Black Cleavers are now completed on Khan and Clid. Clid looking for probably a little bit more damage here in this particular build. Damwon just waiting for their opportunity to take a big purple worm. Some vision was clawed back here by SKT, and Marta can at least get around as he can get underwater, stop that vision from coming in.
But how many lay wastes kills Marta? I would say like 4.5.
2 or 3. Yeah, okay. Maybe 3.
It's not that many on a 0.8 second cooldown ability.
A very, very scary situation for the Pyke.
No magic resist in the build yet. Consider a Hex Drinker, but feels bad against some of the opponents here. Here we go.
Is going to land there.
Got him.
Doesn't have the stopwatch anymore. That's going to give all the money to the Xin as now Damwon are looking for it. Baker is definitely dead. Is he going to get clit as well, though, is the question as Marta goes underwater. Noguri, underneath the tower, bottom side of the map, manages to get the solo kill in amongst everything, although Requiem would have certainly helped. Damwon, they turn around, a good pick from SKT, and they take everything.
Marta's coming up, trying to stop Noguri just taking this inhibitor. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. This should be inhibitor broken as well, Atlas.
Well, he's actually going to pull away before that inhibitor does fall down, but inhibitor turret base broken. Like you're talking about, still great news for Damwon. 10,000 gold, now the lead, 28 minutes into this game. We were talking about the game slowing down. Damwon may have hurt us because they sped it right back up again.
Just think of a different game where you're trying to face check onto SKT's comp, and Tahm Kench can't go in first. He dies through great health to that Pyke ultimate. The other team members are squishy. Here is the side lane fight that happened on the other side of the screen. The all-in, see the poke starts before the Requiem's even cast, so Khan thinks he's an honest 1v1. It's far from honest.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, honestly, Noguri played it about as poorly as he could have. He missed the riposte timing. He had to flash in order to get those last autos, and then the World Ender got the extra movement speed for Khan. However, just wasn't quite enough. As you can see, Marta starts off the fight nicely, but Damwon want SKT to start the fights because, like we were saying, they don't have a lot of engage.
And they also want 5v5, where that kill onto Tahm Kench also allows Aatrox to be wantonly aggressive in the front line with double Enchantress behind him. That's not the sort of things you get. That's dotting your I's and crossing your T's from behind. They're not getting that, but they're on the Baron, Atlas, and Damwon Gaming still have to react.
Yeah, we're going to look for another Bone Skewer. Barrel's going to use the flash this time to get out of the way. Didn't have heal available. Canyon wasn't in position. As SKT, they just dive on this one more time. Bottom side of the map, Noguri hadn't made it to that inhibitor just yet. He has teleport available, and I don't think he's looking to use it. As Damwon are just going to position themselves around a true 4v5, and SKT are going to finally pull the trigger. Infernal Chains do land Khan in the front line like he's supposed to be, but he's being torn apart. Inhibitor's going down, and Damwon are just straight up winning the 4 versus 5 in the meantime. That's a Bone Skewer landing onto Showmaker, but that just closes the distance even more. And Nexus turrets are falling down. The Requiem comes in, and can Noguri just do this 1 versus 4? He has a brilliant riposte to get into the front line. His grand challenge has been met here. Noguri gets in, gets his second. Faker not going to get hit by the boomerangs, but Damwon are bullying them out of their own base, and Noguri now just trolling with a teleport. Damwon smash SKT in game number 2, and they're styling on them at the end.
Sometimes you press your